Hello and welcome to Scriptus's review time. We don't really have a proper title for this, so excuse any future inconsistency with this. And as you can just see, this is the very first review we are doing, or I am doing. I don't know, I'm confused. So the topic of today's video is not exactly this movie. This is a prequel. It's actually Star Trek Into Darkness, which was released on DVD and Blu-ray on the 12th of September, I think. And I would like to give you my opinion about it.
We're gonna do this, we gotta do it now!
We will not fit.
We'll fit, we'll fit! I told you we fit.
I am not sure that qualifies.
I watched you murder innocent men and women.
I will make you answer for what you did. You have no idea what you have done. I will walk over your cold corpses.
Let's go!
We're outgunned. Outnumbered.
So we come out shooting.
I am better.
At what?
Everything.
So, in order to see Star Trek Into Darkness, you don't necessarily have to have seen the prequel. So Star Trek, you don't necessarily have to have watched every single episode of Star Trek, the original series, TNG, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and any other Star Trek related thing. You don't necessarily have to have knowledge of that, but it's recommendable, because otherwise you will probably not understand certain character dynamics. To refer to the original series, it is pretty far removed from that, simply because it contains a lot more action. Less of this like discovery type of thing that was going on in TNG and the original series. And yeah, some of the characters are not kind of like characterized the same way, so it might be a little bit difficult for these type of people, but for everybody else, it's a good movie. Yay! Good summer blockbuster, good action movie, and a good sci-fi movie. Yay! So what is Star Trek Into Darkness about? It takes place after the events of the first movie, approximately 1 year later, and James Tiberius Kirk is kind of tasked with taking care of the terrorist John Harrison, played by Benedict Cumberbatch. So I'm not going to delve in any further into the plot because it's a kind of spoiler, and for people who have watched the previous Star Trek movies, there's a pretty big reveal in that nobody had foreseen before the movie was released. And this was sarcasm because everybody who has seen Star Trek knows who John Harrison actually is. It is a pretty interesting movie in terms of plot, because there are some things that you don't see coming necessarily that are surprising. It is a very funny movie, to be honest. I mean, the first Star Trek already set the tone that it's like, don't take it too seriously. It's a kind of comedy at some extent, although this time Star Trek Into Darkness is a lot more emotional as well. So it's kind of like trying to keep the balance between the two. So everybody from the first movie is reprising their role in the second one. Hallelujah, we don't have any weird recasting things. So Chris Pine is playing James Tiberius Kirk. He's doing a really fine job. He's kind of walking the line a little bit Han Solo-ish, a little bit Indiana Jonesy, more like the adventurer and risk-taker. Not as kind of like hammy and manly as William Shatner interpreted the character, but he's doing a fine job. Like, in a modern sense, he is William Shatner reincarnated to a certain extent. Zachary Quinto is playing Mr. Spock, doing a fine job. The relationship between Kirk and Spock is like cleared in the first movie, so if you have watched that, it's pretty interesting to see how their relationship develops further. Simon Pegg is Mr. Scotty. He has his own little arc in the movie, and it's pretty fun. Really well acted by Mr. Pegg. He is actually one of my favorite characters, so good job, Scotty. Everybody in the movie is doing a really great job. And I really would like to single out Benedict Cumberbatch for his interpretation of John Harrison, because he was actually quite scary if you compare him to, for example, similar villains like Loki. I mean, Loki is cool, but he's not like intimidating. You don't go up to Loki and say, "Oh my god, I'm so scared of you." You do that to John Harrison. He, like, just the voice and kind of like his presence, it's whoa. And that voice, man. You just kind of get like shivers down your spine when you just hear it, and he says intimidating stuff. It's like, awesome.
You think your world is safe. It is an illusion. Enjoy these final moments of peace.
The direction is by J.J. Abrams, who is known for Lost, Alias, and Mission Impossible 3, Super 8, doing the previous Star Trek movie, and in the future doing Star Wars. I think Star Trek Into Darkness really shows like why he's doing Star Wars, because the action sequences are made very well. Like, the whole directing style is very Spielbergy, if you know what I mean. Like, somehow it has this Spielberg-like quality to it, and I don't really know how to express that. Watch a Spielberg movie, watch Super 8 right after, and you will see it. Music is awesome, special effects work perfectly. You can pretty much see that they try to mix actual props and masks and prosthetics and other things that you can actually do yourself with the CGI, so it feels a little bit more real. I mean, just go and watch Jurassic Park and that movie still holds up, and you see why. It's because they mixed people in costumes and models and robots with the CGI, and I think that's a pretty good combination because it just makes it more impactful and it looks pretty well. I watched the movie in 3D. It wasn't annoying 3D, it was also not necessary 3D. I mean, it worked, so you don't necessarily have to watch that for any added effect. And the combination of these elements just work very well. So it has some logic plot holes, so logic / plot holes. It's not like extremely perfected in every single corner, so it does have its rough edges, which means that it's like sometimes you do sit there and think like why is this happening? Why? Just tell me. Like, sometimes it's really like making that to you, but generally speaking, it's very funny, it's very emotional driven. The pacing is pretty good, so you don't really get bored. Even if weird stuff is happening, you don't get bored. Lens flare is something that you know from J.J. Abrams movies, but it's not too much. It's actually pretty okay this time around, I think. I don't remember any big lens flares that I thought were not, you know, completely out of place. I just hope he doesn't have that many lens flares in Star Wars. Please, J.J. Abrams. And I would say that go and try and watch Star Trek Into Darkness if you want to have a good time. Don't expect anything, you know, like Inception or Moon or District 9 where you like actually are intellectually entertained. It's more the like typical summer blockbuster entertainment. But it was one of the better ones. Probably for me it was the second best, but it was one of the best summer blockbusters this year. And go and watch it. And look forward to Star Wars, because that is going to be pretty awesome. For the prices for the DVD, I would expect around 10 euros for the DVD, around 15 for the Blu-ray, depending on where you get it from. And have fun with the movie. And live long and prosper.